What's up to all my people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 112, Season 4, Episode 10 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony back for the 112th time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow lowlifes, hoodlums, scumbags, shady characters, anybody named Phil Mickelson, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, hustlers, cheats, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, friends and family of the gooch, fienders with abusive language, and degenerates. Let's face it, basically anybody with a massive gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, you probably fit into one or a few of those categories, so welcome, because you're one of us. One of us. You're one of us, one of us, one of us, one of us. Gooba gobble, one of us. We accept it, one of us. Sorry, I digress. It's just the way it is. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner. That way you can get notified every time that I put out a new video. You want to spread the word? That's very easy. Just tell other scumbags and degenerates to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you to my page, so that way you can get dialed into everything that I give you. Also, if you're new and you don't really know what's what with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. I give you my picks to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. I'm an outlier and a disruptor. It's what I do. I'm the Beastie Boys. Step into the party, disrupt the whole scene. That's right. Before I get to the picks, I have a few thoughts and programming notes as usual. All degenerates and amateurs too have heard the term bad beats. Hell, Scott Van Pelt even has a segment on his Sports Center about them. I never complain about bad beats on this show because I've been on the good side of improbable beats, and in the end, they all even out. But last Saturday, I had Iowa, minus 3.5 at home over Minnesota. Minnie led with 12-10, with just a little over a minute left, and they punted. Iowa's punt returner did the universal sign for get away from the ball. He did this. He then picked it up and took it 55 yards to the house for the go-ahead touchdown and gave Iowa a 16-12 lead with a minute left and got me the cover. I was jumping up and down because I was dead in the water. I got that and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. But wait, the punt returner was flagged for an invalid fair catch for doing this. Yeah, that's a bad beat. Speaking of Van Pelt's bad beats, he has Stanford Steve Kovlin on his show with him. Stanford Steve took over for ESPN's College Game Day for Chris the Bear Fallica, who bolted for Fox's Big Noon Kickoff as the resident betting expert. The Bear is legit, and he knows his shit. But Stanford Steve has hit on his selections at an alarmingly low rate of 34% so far this season, yet ESPN continues to roll him out there every Saturday with his picks. Yeah, you heard that correct, 34%. The resident betting expert is that low. Ouch. I'm close to double that for this season. 34%. I couldn't do that if I tried. Unreal. Bruce Bochy has the Texas Rangers back in the World Series for the first time since 2011. Bochy won 3 World Series as the skipper of the Giants, in case you forgot, including their first one over the Rangers back in 2010. Bochy had his share of differences with current Giants general manager Farhan Zaidi. That led Bochy to retire 5 years ago. On opening day in 2019, Zaidi told Bochy, 4 years ago, sorry. On opening day 2019, Zaidi told Bochy to start Connor Joe in left field, a guy that Zaidi signed only a week before. And Bochy famously told a reporter before the game, I don't even know one of the guys that I'm starting today. That led to him leaving at season's end with the analytics bullshit that he didn't buy into. Now he's back to doing what he does best, winning in October. While Zaidi's hire, Gabe Kapler, was fired 2 weeks ago. Yes, the Giants just hired Bob Melvin yesterday, and we'll see how that goes with Mr. Analytics Zaidi watching over him. I'll say it once again. Analytics are fine in the regular season, but in October they simply don't work. As far as pitching goes, you need aces and horses at the top of your rotation, not bullpen games. And you need high-paid stars, not interchangeable parts. Lastly, I want to give a shout-out to Alex and Constance on the birth of their new baby girl, Panayota, and Jonathan and Michaela on the birth of their new baby boy, John. Ironically, they both were born on the same day, 1 week exactly before my birthday. Congrats to both couples, and just keep those two kids away from each other when they're growing up. Last week was no doubt that it was going to be a good one, and it's official. Your boy Stoney is on fire. That's right, plain and simple, I'm killing it right now. I started red hot on Tuesday and carried it on all week long. In the MLB, we went 11-11 in betting the games and totals. So whatever, it is what it is. And we split the series prices as well. I had Philly versus Texas in the World Series, and nobody saw Philly collapsing and choking twice in front of their home fans. 12-12 on the week is obviously not great, but football is where I went absolutely ballistic all week long. A red-hot start on Tuesday carried me all the way to a 19-11 week in college football that was good for 63%. You think that's good? In the NFL, I hit the Thursday night game and never looked back in dropping a 10-3 NFL weekend on that ass. Yes, that's 77%. Altogether, that was my 7th straight winning week. All documented, non-edited. You can watch it. You can go back and watch all my videos and know that I'm not lying. Here are the numbers. Last week, 41 wins, 26 losses, 61.19%. Awesome week, thanks to football, right? Take away the baseball, and I hit over 67% of games, which is just obscene. NCAA football for the season now. 130 wins, 96 losses, 2 pushes. That's good for 57.52%. A couple top-notch weeks has us trending up. And got the 53% from early in the season, that bad taste out of our mouths. NFL for the season. 65 wins, 44 losses, 1 push, 59.63%. Big numbers mean big gains. We're closing in on 60% now in the NFL. MLB playoffs, 46 wins, 29 losses, 1 push. That's 61.33%. Even with the bad week, I'm still crushing the playoffs. Overall, every single pick, the nine episodes that I've given you already, 9 weeks, 241 wins, 169 losses, 4 pushes, 58.78%. I mean, I inch closer to 59%, which is the goal, but 58% on the season right now after a couple bad weeks early on, that's saying something. I've really been killing it. So, you're welcome. Please remember that all these picks are 100% free. So for all those touts that give you 75, 80% winners, documented, bullshit, they're not documented. Come on, we all know you're full of shit, and you're charging for all these picks. With me, just come to YouTube every week, and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You can also follow me on X at Stony Woods. That's STONIE Woods. So I gave you my picks for yesterday's games in the comments section of last week's video. I wound up 1-3 as I missed both sides of the NLCS Game 7, and I split the college football matchups. So 1 and 3, whatever, kind of behind the 8 ball, but we'll make it up tonight. Let's get started. NCAA football tonight, 7 Eastern on CBS Network in Bienvenidos a Miami. Give me Florida International, +8 at home over Jacksonville State. Also tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN2 in Huntsville, Texas. I'm taking Sam Houston State to get their first win of the season at home, -3.5 over Texas El Paso. Tomorrow night, we have Thursday night NFL action at 8:15 Eastern on Amazon in Buffalo, as the Bills are 8.5-point home chalk over the Bucs. The Bills were one of my very few losses last week, as they lost outright to the lowly Patriots. Now they're at home facing the Bucs, who are coming off a bye. This is one of those bounce-back situations for the Bills. So I'll continue to play Russian roulette with these humps, and I'm going to take Buffalo and lay the 8 in the chunk. I'm 4-3 on the season on Thursday night NFL, by the way. Tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN in Blacksburg. I'm on Syracuse to break their 3-game losing streak, catching 2.5 at Virginia Tech. Also 7:30 Eastern tomorrow in Statesboro on ESPN2. I'm going to roll with Georgia Southern at home, laying a point and a hook over Georgia State. Friday is game 1 of the World Series between Texas and Arizona. Let's start with the series price, and it's the Rangers that are listed as the favorites at -175, with Arizona, the dog, listed at +145. I love what Arizona has done, and I want this series to go to 7 games, just like the both LCS series. But I have to take the Rangers and Bruce Bochy, who's a damn wizard in October. As for game 1 on Friday, the money line plays are the Rangers at -165 and the Diamondbacks at +140, with the total listed at 8. Arizona's ace Zach Gallen gets the ball for game 1 against Jordan Montgomery for Texas. Gallen's been cash money all season, but the D-backs lost both of his starts in the LCS. Montgomery has been a certified ace ever since acquiring him from St. Louis at the trade deadline. I'm all mixed up here. Texas acquired him from St. Louis at the trade deadline, and he's been top-notch, right? That includes the postseason. While I like Texas to win the series, and I love Bochy's mastery of how to get the most out of a bullpen that's been shaky all season but delivered in the last 3 weeks, I have to take Zona in game 1 because of the price. You give me Zach Gallen at +145, I have no choice but to take it. So I'm on Zona in game 1 with the over of 8. Check back in the comments section of this video on Saturday for game 2, Monday for game 3, and Tuesday for game 4. If there's a game 5, I'll have it in next week's video on Wednesday. Friday night NCAA football at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2 in Charlotte. I'm on Florida Atlantic as the road favorite, laying 4.5 over Charlotte. A huge Saturday of college football. Very huge. So here we go. Rapid fire. We're going to get going at noon Eastern in Winston-Salem on ABC. I like Wake Forest as the home dog of 20 and a chunk over number 4 Florida State, who wins but doesn't cover the 3 touchdowns. Also noon Eastern on Big Fox in Lawrence. I think Oklahoma keeps on rolling to the Big 12 championship game with an easy cover of 10 points on the road over Kansas, who can score but won't be able to score enough against this defense, this Sooner defense, which is getting better. Noon Eastern in the Little Apple of Manhattan, Kansas on ESPN2. Kansas State took a while to find their groove, but now they have it, and they're going to roll over Houston, covering the 16.5. Noon Eastern in Happy Valley on CBS. Give me number 10 Penn State, -32.5 over Indiana. Yeah, I said Penn State, -32.5. This is what they do. I've said it many times that Penn State is the best team in the country against everyone not named Ohio State or Michigan. They were one of my few losses last week, but they'll bounce back this week and absolutely waterboard Indiana, who'll be lucky to score. At noon Eastern in College Station on ESPN, we get the 3 Fs: family, faith, and football. I'm going to dance with South Carolina, plus 14 on the road over Texas A&M. The last noon Eastern game is at the Bounce House down in Orlando on FS1, and I'm going to take West Virginia on the road, catching 7 at Central Florida. 2 Eastern in Raleigh on the CW Network. I'm on North Carolina State at home, plus 10 over Clemson, who continues to cost me money this season like they did last week in Miami. Crazy. Speaking of Miami, at 3:30 Eastern on ACC Network at Hard Rock Stadium, bienvenidos. I'm going to take the Canes, laying 18.5 over Virginia, who shot their load last week by knocking off North Carolina. Not going to happen this time. Miami's defense is too good, and the Canes are going to run the ball right down UVA's throat. 3:30 Eastern on FS1 in Lincoln. I'm all over Nebraska here, laying 2.5 at home over Purdue, who's just a mess. Also in the Big Ten, 3:30 Eastern in Stoniapolis on Big Ten Network. I got Michigan State plus 7 on the road over Minnesota. 3:30 Eastern on CBS. We have the world's largest, let me say that again. We have the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. That's right, I still say it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. The NCAA doesn't want to promote drinking. We know what it is. It's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. It's in Jacksonville. Top-seeded, top-ranked Georgia is 14.5-point favorite over Florida. Sorry. Georgia, they played a neutral site, which is somewhere halfway between Gainesville and Athens. So while the game's played in Florida, it's still in a neutral site, the spot where the Jacksonville Jaguars play. The defending champs have had 2 solid performances this season, and they struggled last week against Vanderbilt. They're going to win again in the cocktail party on Saturday, but they're not going to cover. Give me the Gators, plus 14 and a chunk. 3:30 Eastern on SEC Network. I'm on Mississippi State here as the road dog, catching 6.5 on the Plains over Auburn. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus in Waco. I'm rolling with Iowa State minus 1.5 on the road over Baylor, who's just a mess, and Iowa State is getting better. Since there's so many good games at 3:30 Eastern, we'll continue in Austin on ABC, where I'm going to take BYU plus 17.5 on the road over Texas. Breaking news. Astros manager Dusty Baker to retire. Dusty's retiring. Wow. 2 days after he got eliminated, he's retiring. Good for him. Got a lot of good and bad I can say about Dusty, but he's universally loved. He's next stop Canton, Ohio. Good for Dusty. I mean, he's got nothing left to prove. He was very good, not a great, but a very good player in his day. The one thing that I'll always think of, I mean, I didn't see it because I was too young, but when Hank Aaron hit his 714th home run to pass Babe Ruth and become the all-time home run leader, when he crossed home plate, the first person he threw a high five to was Dusty Baker because he was in the on-deck circle. Dusty's been part of baseball for over 50 years. He's got nothing else to prove. Good for you, Dusty. Godspeed. Have fun at the Hall of Fame when you get in Cooperstown. You deserve it. Good for you. The last pick I gave you was BYU plus 17.5 on the road over Texas. 3:30 Eastern on Big Fox and Salt Lake Stony. I like 8th-ranked Oregon here, laying a touchdown on the road over 13th-ranked Utah. Now, this is a tricky situation because I'm a huge Utah fan. I like them. I love their defense. I love Kyle Whittingham, and I love their home field advantage, which they haven't lost in front of a crowd, non-pandemic year, in like 5 years. So this is going to be a tough one for Oregon. But Oregon right now is running the ball at another level, and their defense is improving, so I'm going to roll with Oregon here, laying the touchdown. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN, up the road a few hours in Louisville. I'm on the home team Cardinals as a short home favorite of 4 over 20th ranked Duke. The last 3:30 Eastern game we'll jump on is in South Bend. Touchdown Jesus. And I'm going to dance with Pittsburgh on the road plus 20.5 over Notre Dame. 4 Eastern in Berkeley on the Pac-12 network. Give me Cal plus 11 as the home favorite over 24th ranked USC, who is this close to packing it in for the season. 4 Eastern in Houston on ESPN2. I like 22nd ranked Tulane laying 11.5 at Rice. 7 Eastern on FS1 in the Silicon Valley of Palo Alto. Stanford's a total disaster. And 5th ranked Washington looked like shit in last week's win over lowly Arizona State. Look for Michael Penix Jr. to get UW's offense going here and Washington to easily cover the 26.5 on the road over Stanford. 7 Eastern in Lexington on ESPN. I think Tennessee bounces back strong after a disappointing second half in their loss to Alabama last week. Give me the Vols as a 3.5-point road favorite over Kentucky. 7 Eastern in Fort Collins on CBS Network. I'm on Colorado State at home plus 12 against 19th ranked Air Force. 7:30 Eastern on NBC in Madtown. Give me Wisconsin as a home dog of 15 and a hook against 3rd ranked Ohio State. 7:30 Eastern on ABC in Pasadena. Colorado's absolutely toast this year and is fighting to get into a bowl game. That's basically between that and their damn NIL deals. That's all they're playing for. This week ain't going to help. 23rd ranked UCLA wins easily at home in the Rose Bowl and runs all over Colorado's defense, covering 17 in the process. 7:30 Eastern at the Grove in Oxford on SEC Network. Vanderbilt is just overmatched here. 12th ranked Ole Miss is going to easily cover the 25.5. So all I can say is, are you ready? Hell yeah, damn right. Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we? Hey, flim flam, bim bam, Ole Miss, by damn. Hotty toddy, Ole Miss. 8 Eastern in Atlanta on ACC Network. I think 17th ranked North Carolina bounces back from their disgraceful loss to Virginia last week by taking it out on Georgia Tech. Give me the Heels minus 11.5 on the road. 8 Eastern on ESPN2 in Stillwater. Oklahoma State gets it done as a 7.5-point home chalk over Cincinnati, who's having a hell of a time in their first year in the Big 12. 8 Eastern in Tempe on Pac-12 Network. Arizona State is a bad football team, but they always seem to hanging around. The kid's got the alligator blood. Shout out to Teddy KGB. Know the reference, people. Know the reference. I don't care about ASU. Give me Washington State laying 6.5 on the road over the Sun Devils. 10:30 Eastern on ESPN in Tucson. I like 11th ranked Oregon State minus 3.5 on the road over Arizona. 10:30 Eastern in Fresno on FS1. I'm going to dance with UNLV, who's quietly 6-1, to get the cover, catching 9 at Fresno State. I started the season 4-0 on the Degenerate Special, and now I've dropped 4 straight to even up the number. But it doesn't matter if I keep winning, right? So this week's late night get right or Degenerate Special is in Stony Lulu. At midnight Eastern on Spectrum, I'm going to ride with San Jose State minus 10.5 at Hawaii. That's a mind-numbing 31 plays. You add that to the 7 plays before Saturday that started yesterday, we're going to roll 38 college football picks so we can try and get a little greedy with all of our W's lately. Another NFL Sunday starts 1 o'clock Eastern in Arlington on Sunday as the Cowboys are 6.5-point home chalk over the Rams. Dallas is coming off a bye week, and the Rams are coming off a home loss to the Steelers. Give me the Rams through the back door here, plus the points, though Dallas gets the win. On a quick side note, before I continue with the rest of the NFL, the trend that I've been playing and monitoring this season is the reverse turf home underdog. And it was only 8-8 heading into last week, but went 4-0 last week with 3 of them winning outright. to get to 12-8 on the season. That's 60%. The reason I point that out is because there are no reverse turf home dogs this week. We'll catch up. I'm sure we'll catch one or two next week. 1 Eastern in Green Bay. The Packers are a short 2.5-point home chalk over the Vikings. The Pack have lost 3 in a row, and Jordan Love does not look like the answer to Favre and Rodgers. While Minnesota's quietly riding the shit. Even though they're coming in on a short week, I like many here on the road plus the points. 1 Eastern right here in Music City. The Falcons are a 2.5-point road favorite over the Titans. I still don't know what to make of Atlanta, other than the fact that they need a quarterback. So does Tennessee, though. Mike Vrabel hasn't even named a starter yet, though it looks like rookie Will Levis is going to get the nod. Titans defense, though, playing at home will be the difference. Give me Tennessee plus the points. 1 Eastern in Indianapolis. The Colts are a 1-point home favorite over the Saints. The Colts have lost 3 of 4, and the Saints have lost 4 of 5. New Orleans defense takes over here and frustrates Gardner Minshew. Saints plus the point, which means take them on the money line for better odds. 1 Eastern at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Bienvenidos. Sorry, that's like third or fourth reference there. The Dolphins are, by the way, I hate to digress, but Will Smith, Jada Smith, do we need to hear more of this bullshit shoved down our throats? Good God. Their relationship's a train wreck. Both of them are train wrecks. Rock on, Chris Rock. You're the man. You were right all along. Anyway, Miami. The Dolphins are 9.5-point home chalk over the Patriots. Miami got physically beaten up by Philly on Sunday night while New England beat Buffalo. The Pats will now lose their next 3 or 4 games, starting with a blowout here in Miami. Give me the fish and lay the big number because I can't take all underdogs. 1 Eastern in Snoopyville, we get the Battle of New Jersey as the 2 Jersey teams meet up with the Jets listed as a 3-point favorite over the Giants. I don't like the Jets and I'm not sold on them, even when they had Aaron freaking Rodgers. The Giants are better than their record shows and might be better with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback. Let's go back to the dogs and give me the Giants plus the field goal. 1 Eastern at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle. The Jaguars come in as 2.5-point road favorites at Pittsburgh. I like the Jags here on the road to continue their winning ways after a week and a half off. 1 Eastern in our nation's capital, the Eagles come in as 6.5-point road favorites over the Commando Skins. I still can't get a read on Philly except that they're really good. They're not at home this time, and they're in division also. Washington is not good. Give me the home dog plus 6.5. 1 Eastern in Charlotte. The Texans are 3-point road favorites over the Panthers. Both teams are coming off a bye, and I like Carolina here to slow down Houston and maybe even get their first win, though I'm going to take the field goal at home. 4 Eastern in the Pacific Northwest. The Seahawks are 3-point favorites over the Brownies. Massage Watson is a mess. P.J. Walker has filled in nicely, leading Cleveland to 2 straight W's. Now they don't know who's going to start. Seattle's a different beast at home. Give me the Hawks and lay the field goal. 4:25 Eastern in the Mile High City. The Chiefs come in as 7.5-point road chalk over the Broncos. Denver's a total mess, and the Chiefs are cruising. They covered last week, but won't this week. Broncos catch the back door. Why not? 4:25 Eastern in Glendale. The Ravens are 8.5-point road favorites at the Cardinals. Lamar is looking like Lamar and not a guy that just got paid. Coming off a blowout win over Detroit, they now go cross country. And I'll take the big home dog here. Cards plus 8.5. 4:25 Eastern at 501 Gene Stadium in the Silicon Valley. The 49ers are 5.5-point favorites over the Bengals. Since he's coming off a bye and the Niners are on a short week, the Niners have also dropped 2 straight on the road. Look for things to get right here as the Niners roll. Sunday Night Football at 8:20 Eastern in Inglewood. Always up to no good. The Chargers are 8.5-point favorites over the Bears. The Bears got a huge lift from Tyson Bagent. Yes, I said that correctly. Secret Bagent man. Tyson Bagent in their win over the Raiders. I know. It was the Raiders. We all understand how bad that team is and that organization is. The Chargers continue to look like the Chargers. Making mistakes, shooting themselves in the foot. But I'll take them here and lay the lumber at home because the Bears are really bad. And I'm 3-4 on Sunday night this NFL season, so it's time to pick that up too. Finally, Monday Night Football, where I'm 4-1 on the season. At 8:15 Eastern in the Motor City, the Lions are 7.5-point favorites over the Raiders. Detroit was embarrassed by Baltimore last week, and the Raiders were embarrassed by the Bears. But the Raiders are going to continue to get embarrassed, and they're going to get embarrassed here. The Lions never host Monday Night Football. That crowd's going to be hyped. The team's going to be playing with like their hair's on fire after getting beat bad last week. Give me Detroit at home and lay the 7.5 to close out the week. Okay, so I just gave you 54 plays for the week, not counting the MLB. So there's going to be at least 9 if the World Series is a sweep, and 2 more picks for each game after Game 4. That's 53 plays at least, and it'll be close to 60 by the time we're done on Monday night. 30 wins are the least amount of wins we'll take this week, and the closer we get to 35, the more damage we can cause by cashing tickets. Remember to check back daily for all the World Series games after Friday. Next week's video is going to come out around the same time next Wednesday. Until then, remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. For me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch.